Hi, everybody. Welcome to my home office. Is this not the coolest little headset? I mean, really, it's adorable. But it's been a while. I took a little break, and here's why. I didn't want anybody to get wrecked in this cryptocurrency market because the last time I was talking about it, we were at record highs for everything. And I thought to myself, if I show people how to get into the market now, they're going to lose a lot of money because I knew there was a pullback coming. Why was there a pullback coming? What did I say in the last videos? Regulations coming. Why? Because of all of the meme coins, all of those doggy coins, all of the Shibu coins, the Australian Shepherd coins, the Elon Musk coins, the Safe Mars, the Moons, all of them are junk coins. And people are getting wrecked. And so what does that mean? Regulations coming. And so let's talk a little bit about these things before I jump into showing you how to move your money, your fiat money, your paper money, your American dollars, your euros into cryptocurrency world. Let's talk a minute about this. So what happened? What was the whole life cycle we just went through? Because we've seen it happen. This is probably like the third time in the cryptocurrency world we've experienced this flow. And so what happened was back in November, a lot of people moved money into cryptocurrency. For whatever reason, maybe it's a safe store of value, hedging against the deflation of the dollar, who knows? But Joe Biden getting elected, who knows? So it went up. Bitcoin went up. And then what happened is people took their gains from Bitcoin and then they moved them into these altcoins, is what they call them. So, it's like Bitcoin's really brand. Bitcoin's the first one. It has its constraints. Elon Musk brought that up the other day, which was, just kind of FUDed the market. FUD meaning fear, uncertainty, and doubt. People got scared and sold, but yet he put $2 billion into it. And you're telling me he didn't do his research to realize that it takes a lot of energy to be running all those mining rigs to generate all those Bitcoin transactions? Whatever. But as Elon would say, diamond hands. He's holding on to it for now. But he brought up the point that it's clunky. It's the first one, so it takes forever. Like it takes forever to process a transaction. It's expensive, and it takes a lot of energy to run. And so that's a constraint there with the old Bitcoin. And so after Bitcoin, right? So right now it's really kind of like brand. It's really almost like a store of value. It doesn't necessarily have a use case in a lot of ways. It's not like you could go pay for your coffee with Bitcoin. It takes too long. It takes almost 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes for a transaction to process. Can't wait around. Your coffee would be cold. So that doesn't work. It doesn't really have a good use. But it is kind of like the cryptocurrency gold. It's got brand. People look at it and they say, this is valuable. So out of Bitcoin, to solve some of Bitcoin's problems, Ethereum was created. You do a lot of cool stuff with Ethereum, which you might not have heard of. Maybe only you know about is Bitcoin and Doji, but there are hundreds of cryptocurrencies out there. The next most useful, one of the most, I won't say the next most useful, but one of the more useful ones is Ethereum. And so that's a whole blockchain and coin that has a lot of neat uses, a lot of legal uses. We talked about that in one of the other videos. So you can do things like smart contracts. You can, wrap different transactions with like, if this happens, then this will happen. And so, anyways, it's really neat. A lot of interesting apps that have been built on top of the Ethereum blockchain. And honestly, a lot of these meme coins, a lot of them are on top of the Ethereum blockchain. And so when you want to go buy them and it's being so heavily used, you almost end up with this issue of, I'm going to call it supply and demand, meaning there's a ton of transactions that need to process and not enough people to process them. And when that happens, the people who are processing them charge fees, right? They're called miners. And so anytime there's a transaction that needs to be verified, a miner does that. And then when they do that, they get paid for that work. Normally, they get paid in whatever that coin is. So if you're on the Ethereum blockchain, you get paid in Ethereum for helping process that transaction. Problem is, with all of those transactions happening, the fees have been through the roof. I was looking at buying some meme coin the other day, like $100 worth of like some junk coin, and I was looking at it, but the fee was almost $300 just to process the transaction. I'm like, forget it. I'm not doing that. So you have real constraints with some of these existing cryptocurrencies that while they have brand and they have maybe some cool use cases, they still have a lot of constraints. And so out of that, a lot of these other coins spring up. And not just in terms of like being used for a different currency, but like an alternative to the dollar. But a lot of them have interesting purposes, like a decentralized internet. Like I could house a part of the internet, just having a little hub in my house, and you could have one. And since I have it running in my house, maybe I'll get paid with whatever cryptocurrency that is. Since I'm providing a service, I'll get paid in whatever coin that is. Or there's one that's out there now that really helps with supply chain management. So from the time like a tree gets cut down till its whole life cycle of, turning into a table or chairs or a piece of paper, like you could track that all through blockchain. Like you scan it, it just gets added into this whole life cycle. So really, like that's just a handful of things. But like I said, there's a lot of these coins out there that are altcoins that have real use cases. And so what people do is they took their gains from Bitcoin and they said, they did research and they said, oh, these look cool and upcoming. Let me put them into these companies. So then all of a sudden, all those start to go up. Well, what do? You take your gains out, you take your original investment out, all that, everybody's making money. So then it just gets stupid. And that's pretty much where we have been the last 4 to 6 weeks. And so one of the things you can do now is pretty much within an hour to 2 hours, you can set up a brand new cryptocurrency. And it has almost no use. But the thing is, what's happened is all these people who have been in the market have made money in the market. And then they're talking about all the money they've made. So now you're telling your friends about all this money you've made. And now your friends are like, well, I want to get in. And so Ethereum's up, right? It was been up like 4,000, whatever that was at. Bitcoin's up at 60. It's like, who has that type of money, man? Who has that type of money? So then people hear like Doji. Elon Musk talking about Doji. Doji, which is probably the original meme coin, it's just a joke. I mean, somebody made it as a joke years ago. It's like, it's a dog coin. And it's been just garbage for years. I mean, like 0.0007 or something like that. Really low. And so then Elon Musk tweets about it, really to highlight the fact that it's a joke. Like, wouldn't it be ironic if out of all of these coins, Doji coin became like our next currency? Wouldn't that be funny? And so it's like, it's almost like it's satirical, right? But then all of a sudden, life starts imitating art, and while we're joking about it, people are like, yeah, Elon's promoting Doji. Then Elon buys a lot of Doji. And then other people are buying a lot of Doji. And so we saw that go from nothing till what was that, 40, 50, 60 cents? It was crazy. People made so much money. So then, now even more people are talking about it. And then somebody comes out with like Shiba or SafeMoon. And it's a joke, man. People make it in 2 hours. And then it's like, but I'll tell you what, I put $100 into SafeMoon. I saw some young guy talking about it on TikTok. I was like, I got house money to play with. Sure. $100. And $100 turned into like $1,200. Can you believe that? Crazy. But you got to take your gains out, right? You got to like, dude, and then you take it out of that meme coin, you put it into something else. Only problem with that is if you're not really in the space, you get in and you get wrecked because you don't know what's what. You don't know what SafeMoon is. You don't know the difference between that and Dogecoin and real things like VET or Helium or ADA with actual use cases. And so people are really getting wrecked. And as a result, regulation's coming. That's what's coming. And so the market's taking a beating right now. And China just announced they're going to have regulations. U.S. I just saw the Secretary of the Treasury came out today, said we got to look at regulations. We have to honestly get our fair share. And so there's a lot that's happening, but I have delayed in doing this video because I wanted to make sure, you guys didn't get in at the top of the market. And now's really a good time to start thinking about it, at least talking about it and considering moving some play money in. Any money you're willing to lose, if you're okay with it, move that money in. And so that's what I did in 2017. I really felt like I was led to this and started learning about Bitcoin and how blockchain works. And just really believe, like we've talked about, I really believe it's the future. And so I put an investment in 2017. I put a couple $1,000s in, anything that I was okay to lose. And it's done, it did very bad, right? Like with the same cycle happened in 2017. A lot of people got in. I got in. I think I bought into Bitcoin around like 9,000. I think I bought some there, and then like around 19. You try to cost average your way in, right? And so I was kind of all over the place, and then it went. It just tanked, and and I was like, man, that sucks. But I still believed in. I didn't look at it as a short-term thing. I believe it's the future for a lot of different reasons, biblically, whatever, one world currency, blah, blah, blah. I could see it happening, right? Mark of the beast type stuff, can't buy or sell. I'm like, well, how would they turn off dollars? Like, how would you not? So, but if your dollars are digital, that makes a lot of sense to me. So either way, you can't stop revelation from happening. Might as well invest in it. And it sounds terrible, but I think we have some time between them anyways, but I do think that there's a lot of cool practical things that are going to come out of it. It's the same way you look at the internet, right? Or cell phones. It does internet a very dark side to it, but it's totally revolutionized the way that we live, the way that we do business. Me talking to you right now, how we connect with people. It's brought the world closer together. It's brought the gospel further than ever before, thanks to technology. But it does have its dark sides, and this is going to be no different. So that's kind of my point. I had my caveat in there. So that has been our market probably since November. And I want to show you how you can get into it now because it's lower. And like I said, I think we're going to have some volatility over the next couple of months. I think June will be a good month for the crypto space. I think it's going to pull back again. And then I think we'll have a real dramatic pullback like we saw in 2000, I want to say it was like 2017, 2018. And it just stayed low really until Biden became president. And so I think we're going to go through that again. And now's a good time to kind of get in, familiarize yourself with the space, start learning how to do research. And if you have play money, we should talk about it. So where do we start? First place to start, most people kind of end up in, and is easy to use and get started, is a website and an app, and it's called Coinbase. So I want to go there on the screen. Give me 1 second. Oh, that's my phone. We'll look at that in a second. Okay, so this is Coinbase. It's a desktop app and it's also a cell phone app. Most of these are like that. It's really easy to use, and the only one downside, and it's IPO'd. It just IPO'd on the stock exchange. Did well, but I would say like the one downside to it is that its fees are kind of high to get on. So a lot of times people kind of start here, and then you'll notice that like they'll migrate their coins either to a different exchange, or they'll migrate their coins off the website and into like a hard wallet that they have. And we'll talk more about that in a second. But it's a good starting point. So to me, it's easy to use. And so I want to show you that. And then there's another website. I think it's up and coming. A lot of people use it. It's, again, kind of easy to use, and it's called crypto.com. They're very unique and cool in that the only other thing I'd highlight with them is that they have a cool Visa card, and when you use it, your rewards are paid back to you in their cryptocurrency. And so a lot of these exchanges have their own cryptocurrency that kind of helps run their ecosystem. And crypto.com has CRO. And so I think CRO right now, I could tell you what it is, but it's like 15, 20 cents. But I think it's up and coming. We just saw, so Binance is another exchange. This is going to sound like Klingon to some of you, but Binance is another exchange that has their own coin, and that just totally blew up like in the last, I don't know, 6 months, 7 months. I mean, it was so low. We can go look it up. It's called BNB, and that's like $300 or $400. But it was really low for quite a while, and then just really took off. But anyways, let me just see what the CRO is at. I guess it would be quicker if I looked it up a different way. But the cool thing is you get paid, you get a percentage back on your transactions. So just like you use your debit card or your Visa card there, you would get paid, you get 2% back. And right now it's like 11 cents. And so just a little while ago. The whole market's down by like 50% now. But this was probably at, let's see, I think the high was, let me take a look here if I can figure it out. Yeah, so it's like, oh, this is the last 24 hours. So it was 14 cents today. The last month, let's see, it was up to 20, it was up at like 21 cents, somewhere around there, 20, 21 cents. So you can see there's a lot of money being made there. So right now it's totally tanked. But what's cool about a coin like this, like CRO, is that it's linked to this whole ecosystem and infrastructure. So people who have money right now are getting in and they're saying, this is really stable. This is one of these investments, not investment advice. Don't do it because I told you to. Go do your research. But what I'm trying to tell you is something like this is linked to a use case. It's usable. It has a utility. It's an infrastructure type of a coin. It's not Safe Moon or Doji. It's not just sitting there. It actually is functional, has a purpose. So what's cool though is what I'm trying to tell you is what's neat about these guys is you use a Visa card and then you get paid whatever you spend 2% back in CRO. Anyways, long story short. So, or short story made way too long. So let's look at, I want to show you what this kind of looks like on my phone as well. So I have my little crypto tab and I want to show you Coinbase because I think this is one of the easier ones to get into. And so you'll open your Coinbase up and it'll give you this main screen where it's just kind of like what we're watching, right? So this is the price of Bitcoin right now. I don't think I have a cursor, but you could follow along. Bitcoin's 36,000, Ethereum's 23, and you see the little line. This is kind of like the life cycle. See how mine's set to 1 day, but we could go to 1 month. Here's 1 year, right? So what was this? Back in April, it was 64,000, and then it's like, pew. But you can kind of see a trend line there of where it might be going, or at least where the resistance point is. And if it passes that, it's going to go down again. And then here's all time, just so you could see this is what happened last time. So this is back in 2017. It peaked around 20,000. It peaked, and then it just like, boo, went back down. But listen, before that, and let's just go back here, right? So here's April of 2017. And then it just goes up. I mean, it's just shocking, right? So you think of 2,900. Oh, that sounded like a lot of money back then. And then it went all the way up to 20 and then it crashed. But it's like, oh, Bitcoin's a joke. It's not doing anything. And then this was, right, 2018, 2019. It's bouncing around, bouncing around. And I held on mine through there because I was at a loss. I'm like, I'm not going to cash out. I'm just going to leave it. Forget it. And then we saw in November, it just totally blew up and it went up to 64. Looks like that was the max was 64. And so now we're coming down the back side of this slope. So it's either going to bounce up and we're going to have like a little blip. You know, it's either like, here's this blip, or we're here and we're coming down and we're in it for the long haul. I think it'll probably settle down. I don't know if it's going to go up to 100 or 200 this year. Lots of people are like, oh, it's going to do that. I don't know. But what I do know is here is 3,500, and it never, after it peaked, it never went back down here to 1,000 or a couple $100. So either way, we might settle down maybe in the, what is this here? Let's look at this one. We might settle in the 20s, maybe a little higher, somewhere around there. We'll see what happens. But I definitely don't think we're going back down to 9 or 10. And then we'll have another super cycle, probably in a couple years from now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to make the investment now's a good time. And just, people say, like, I'm packing my bags. People call them moon bags because we're going to the moon. So in times like this, people are like, I'm just packing my bags. So, like, I might pick up some CRO. I might pick up some other things before things change. But I want to show you how this works. So you can see the trend lines. You can do your research there of where we're at in the cycle. And Coinbase has a good list of available coins on here. So they don't have everything, okay? They have like maybe the ones that are in the top 20 or 30, something like that. They don't really put meme coins on here. You can't buy junk on this app. You have to buy here and then move your money out to go buy junk if you want junk. So let's click on this blue dot in the middle. You can see what's possible. So we can buy crypto with cash, which means we'll take the money from the bank and then you'll purchase whatever you want. You could sell your crypto. Like I've got a portfolio balance here of 1,000, so I could sell what I have, and then I could move that money back into my bank. Um, and not all of these connect with your bank. So there's some exchanges that don't connect to banks. That it's almost like a two-step process. You go bank to something like Coinbase and Coinbase to that other exchange, and then you have to follow the same thing to get your money out. And so you bounce sometimes between different currencies. So anyways, that's kind of a long story. You could convert. So if I wanted to exchange my Bitcoin for like Ethereum or exchange Ethereum for something like a Litecoin, I could do that. Or I could send my cryptocurrency someplace else. I could send it to a different exchange. Like we talked about, I could send some to my friend, or if I needed to receive money, like we just talked about, like let's say I sent some Ethereum to a different exchange, and then I did some trades over there, and now I want to get my money out. I would just take it back this way, and so I'd have to receive those funds back. We'll look at how to do that later. So, but let's talk about step one. Step one is how do we get fiat currency into the crypto world? And so this is an easy way to do that. Coinbase seems pretty easy to me. So you hit buy with cash, and then you have to pick what do you want to buy. Do you want to buy Bitcoin? You want Ethereum? What is that? I'll show you how to do research on these to get some more information on them. I'm going to talk briefly about this one called Tether, the third one down, and then also USD coin. These coins are considered stable coins, and they are linked to the US dollar. So it's 1 for 1. $1 in Tether is $1 in the USD. And so why would we use this? Okay, we might use this if, let's say we invest into Bitcoin now, and let's say we put $2,000 into Bitcoin, and then let's say it goes back up to 40 or 50,000. Well, what I immediately want to do after my investment doubles or triples, whatever rule you want to set, you want to take your original investment back out. And so I might convert that portion of that Bitcoin, that gain, whatever that is, I want to convert it into something like a Tether or a USD coin because it's 1 to 1 for the United States dollar. So maybe I don't want to move everything out of the bank yet. Maybe I'm thinking, well, I might want to, I've been doing research over here into like, Cardano. Maybe I want to put some money into Cardano and take those gains and put them into Cardano because I think it's going to go up. You have the right to do that. Or you could take your investment and put it right back into like a stable coin like Tether, or you can just move it right out. All right. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about what those are. Tether and USD coin are linked 1 to 1 for our actual fiat US dollar. They just sit in this ecosystem. So let's say we want to buy Bitcoin. Okay, we click on Bitcoin, and then how much Bitcoin do you want to buy? Well, I'm not going to do it, but I'll show you. The $500 worth of Bitcoin. Now, at this point, if this is your first time using this app, it's going to ask you security questions about who you are. Man, government's got to get their piece, so they want your tax information. So driver's license, all of that. And then you also connect your bank account. So that takes like a couple days to set up. So just know you can't jump in and do this immediately. If you want to in the future, it's a good process just to start now, put your info in. And like I said, this is a company that just IPO'd. They're a reputable company, which is why I'm suggesting them to you. So we're going to put our bank account in, and then we're going to say, okay, it's connected. And so we're going to hit preview buy. And now it's going to say, all right, Mercedes, well, this is how much Bitcoin you're going to get for that $500. You're going to get 0.013333, and it goes up to, 7 digits. And then here's the price that you're buying in at $36,000. This is how much your $500 is going to get you. We're going to take your money from your bank, and this is how much you're actually purchasing because we have a $7.34 fee. So that's how we're spending your $500. Do you want to buy it? And then if I hit buy, it would say, submitted, and then I would get an email confirmation from Coinbase once that transaction is done. And, just keep in mind that, and it says here, keep enough funds in your bank for 3 to 4 days because it takes a while to debit it and bring it in, but it will buy it at this price. It'll execute at this price, just so you know. In case you're ever in a situation where you're like, I gotta sell, and oh my gosh, did it sell at the right point? So it'll sell at this point, but sometimes it takes a couple days to process. And Bitcoin, like we talked about, takes forever to transact. So that's how we would move our fiat money, USDs, euros, whatever you're working with, into the crypto space. So this isn't all the coins that are on everything on Coinbase. That's not everything, right? There are other exchanges out there which we can take a look at. Let's look at that now. So we talked a little bit about crypto.com being one of them. They have a very similar interface on the phone. I don't think it's as easy to use, but some people really enjoy it. So same type of thing. You'd link your bank, you put your information in, and then you can buy coins over there. They actually have a couple more than like that. There's one the other day. It's like Shiba, the Shiba coin, the new meme coin, like the new Doji. That's listed over there. And so they have junk that you can buy if you want to roll the dice on it. But again, those coins have like no utility. So they're not something I would normally invest in. I just use like my house money for that. When I say house money, I just want to make sure you know what I'm talking about. In 2017, right, I put the couple $1,000s into this. By now, with all the gains in November, I've got all that original investment out, and now it's like house money. It's no different than going to the casino. I put $100 in, and let's say I got 1,000. Well, I'm going to pocket my 100. I'm taking that home with me no matter what, and now I have $900 to play with. That's house money. So that's kind of what I mean. If you have house money to throw at meme coins, go for it. So let's look at some of these other exchanges. So Bittrex is another exchange. You could look at the screenshot here and just tell it looks different. For people who want to do things like day trading, putting limit orders in, right? So that's saying like, if the market hits this point, buy this many. If the market hits this point on this coin, sell this. And they have a lot, they tend to have more options on an exchange like this than you're going to get in Coinbase. So if there's something new or maybe something that's super unique, it'll show up on different exchanges. Not every exchange has the same coin. So you have to kind of go to something like, and we'll look at this in a second, Coinmarketcap.com to see what exchanges these coins are on. And so you'll find that, and especially like if you look at my phone, I'll go back to my phone for a second. Let's just unlock it first. If we go back to my phone, you can see I have a lot of them just here on my phone. So I have Kraken, I have Bittrex, I have Binance US, I have Crypto.com, Uphold is another one, Gemini is one. Trust Wallet is just kind of like it's just kind of holds funds, allows you to buy like really, if you really want the meme coins. I had to figure out all that and how that runs. And then Uniswap, Unipro is the same way. So again, I know it sounds like probably like Klingon for a lot of this stuff, but I just want to at least show it to you that this is kind of what it looks like on my phone. And then they're here online as well. So Bittrex is reputable. I would suggest them. Gemini is reputable. I would suggest them. Binance is getting into some hot water. Like in Texas, you can't even use Binance.us. It used to just be Binance.com, and then they had to change things for the US, so there's Binance.us. But they're in hot water, I think, for some legal reasons. I don't know the whole story. I'd have to go find the articles, but I was reading it the other day, and I think there might be some issues coming here. So if you're on Binance, maybe think about moving your coins out. And then, of course, another one called Kraken. Not as good, but an exchange that has a handful of coins you can't really get in other places. Last one a lot of people use is MetaMask. And I think I mentioned Trust Wallet too. So Trust Wallet is kind of where you get Binance meme coins. But you can do a lot with MetaMask and things like that as well. So again, just go research them, go check them out. But step one, honestly, just start with, for most of you trying to get reputable coins, you're going to just want to start right off the bat with Coinbase. Don't even worry about it. Just go there and you can get most of the stuff you want there. Yes. And so let's think about what else we want to talk about. We talked about how to move money in, what's going on with the market. One thing I might want to show you how to do is how to move funds between these different exchanges. And so, like for instance, one of the coins that I think is being heavily reviewed right now, is actually being sued by the SEC. But we've talked about before is XRP, and XRP was created really by banks and for banks, and I think has a real potential to become um, the replacement for the Swift system. And so there's a couple things out there like that. XRP is that's its little hash tag number. And then there's one that's XLM. XLM is similar. And what that's going to probably replace is our whole Swift system, or something like it will do that. But it's linked to the World Economic Forum and Davos, and that's why I think that it's most likely going to be used. And so I have a holding in that. I have a lot of different things, and so we want to take a look at it, right? We want to end up looking at how would I buy that. So one of the problems with XRP right now is that you can't buy it on these exchanges. They actually got delisted because the SEC is suing them. And the case is like, it's like back and forth, back and forth. And the judge has really ruled in favor of Ripple a number of times. But I end up thinking there's going to be a settlement there. And so you can't get it on Coinbase. You can't get it on a lot of these different places. But there are a handful of places where you can pick it up. What I've seen is on one app, it's called Uphold. And so we could take a quick look at that. Actually, let me just go over here really quick, type it in, uphold.com, and we'll go back to the screen share. Okay, so this is Uphold. Same type of thing. You would have to sign in, and then you're going to have to move your coin, whatever you want. Normally, and I'll show this to you, I would move Litecoin from, I'd buy Litecoin and move that between exchanges. And the reason for that is it's very quick. Litecoin's quick, and it has very low fees. And so there's a couple of coins that have been created specifically for that reason, because fees on Bitcoin and Ethereum can be so high and they take so long. So again, there's a use case there for a Litecoin, which is what helps drive and maintain its price. And there's a couple other coins out there that are cool like that too. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. But you would send your Litecoin from, let's say like Coinbase, into Uphold. And then on Uphold, you would exchange it. So you see what this graphic looks like here? You see how it's like you're going to exchange from USD into Bitcoin. You could do that right here on the app, and it's super easy to use. It's a great little interface, and you can get XRP here. Another place I've seen you where you're able to get XRP is Atomic Wallet. That's another one. But a lot of these don't connect with your bank account like we talked about. So it's like a 3-step process to purchase some of these harder to acquire coins. So I'm not going to go super into like how to purchase like on Uphold or anything like that. But I do want to show you at least the process of moving between exchanges, because I think it's risky and I just want you to understand how to do it. So let's say we go to Coinbase, okay? And we have our, let me see what I've got in here. Let's close that one. We were still trying to buy something. So here, we're going to click our blue button again. And in this case, we want to send cryptocurrency. And what do you want to send? Mercedes? Okay, well, I don't want to send Algo. I want to send Litecoin. And I'm going to send 0.10 Litecoin. I'm going to hit continue. And now it says, okay, well, where do you want to send it? I'm like, great question. So let's go over and why don't we send it? We'll send it over here to crypto.com. So let's go back, and here's my Litecoin section. And I want to receive it, so let me make sure I'm in the right spot here. Deposit. So in this one, it says deposit. And other things, it's like a little like airplane or a little wallet. You kind of have to look around for it. So I'll hit deposit. And so this is my wallet address inside of crypto.com. And like the best way I can think to explain this whole process to you is to think of let's think of it this way. Think that there's like a little filing cabinet on your floor, okay? And in that filing cabinet, you have a bunch of different files. And each file has a name on it, like Bitcoin. The next file is Ethereum. The next file is Litecoin. And so all the coins have their own file, and they all have their own special address, like this one. So for me, if you wanted to send me Litecoin in on crypto.com, this is the address you would use. It's like that's written on the folder right next to where it says Litecoin. And this folder sits inside of a little filing cabinet called crypto.com. And then right next to it, I have my other filing cabinet that is Coinbase. And inside of Coinbase, I got all those same files. But each one has a very special address. And here's the thing. I can only take my Litecoin from Coinbase and send it to my Litecoin filing cabinet on crypto.com. I can't randomly send Ethereum paperwork into my Litecoin paperwork in this different box, right? So you can only send Litecoin to Litecoin wallets. You can only send Ethereum to Ethereum wallets. If you ever get them crisscrossed, if you ever get them screwed up, you will never see those funds again. That's why I want to talk about it, because it's so freaky and can like scare me. Even when I know I'm doing it right, I'm like, is it there yet? Is it there yet? So this is my wallet address. And so I want to copy it. I'm going to click on it. So it's been copied. Now I'm going to come back to Coinbase, right? Because remember, we're sending Litecoin from Coinbase and we want to send it into crypto.com. So I'm going to paste it in here. Most of these will sit here and verify for you too. Hey, that is a Litecoin address. So you're not a moron. Don't worry about it. And then it has a notes section. I don't ever add notes unless the cryptocurrency specifically tells me you need to put a note in there and it needs to say this. Otherwise, leave it blank. So now we're going to hit preview. And it says, okay, you're going to send $17 worth of Litecoin. And you're sending it to this address. And here's the low networking fee, right? It's like 0.0004. It's like a couple cents. Compared to hundreds of dollars on Ethereum, it's just crazy. So now we're going to hit, it says 30 minutes. It probably will not be 30 minutes. So now we're going to hit send now. And most of these are also going to have you have a verification app. And it's a very good idea to have a two-step verification set up, right? Depending on how much money you're working with. In my case, I use a Google Authenticator app. And so I'm just going to go over here to my Google Authenticator app and kind of navigate away. Y'all can look at that screen for a second. So I'm going to copy my Coinbase 6-digit code. I'm going to paste it in here. And now I'm going to hit submit. And boom, there we go. So now my Litecoin has been sent. And we're going to wait for it to show up into crypto.com. So we'll go over here and we're going to wait for it to show up. And so Litecoin is pretty quick most of the time. I mean, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Really depending on how busy it is. And so you can see kind of what I'm holding over here in my crypto.com account. Most of this is my Visa card. I took some of my house money a few weeks ago and moved it onto my Visa card so that I could test, getting the 2% back. Does that work? How does that work? So far so good. I was just testing it out. And then these are just a handful of things I have over here. So I have the CRO. I have VET. So VET is that supply chain management company we talked about. Doji, I invested when the Doji was at like 30 cents. I wrote it up to 60 cents. I sold it. Took my original investment out, and this is what's left of that. That's my house money for Doji. You can see I put some money into Shiba. Lost a lot of money there. So that was a meme coin that I was like, whatever, $100, pretend money, let's put it there. And everything else is just kind of like what I said, just kind of sitting there. So we'll see if our Litecoins come in yet. I'll just refresh and see. But that's the process of moving. So I just hope that that's clear. And I hope I was clear with my little analogy, is that you really just you can only send your Litecoin to a Litecoin file and on a different exchange. And you just have to be really careful about it and really make sure you're reading and paying attention to what you're doing, because next to impossible to get those funds back. Or worst case, you send them into somebody else's wallet on a different network. And I just click copy. I don't even manually type it. I just click copy and it goes right over there. So maybe like last thing I want to talk about before we hang up, I know it's so much and you guys feel free to watch this on repeat, is once you have gains and you have a significant investment in the market, back in 2017, one of the issues we had was even just shady exchanges where, like I was just showing you, like Coinbase is reputable, it IPO'd. You know, things like Atomic Wallet to me are sketchy. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to quickly do this, get my coins in and out. Uphold seems fairly reputable, but you always run this risk of, if I have two risks really of having your money on an exchange. So let's say you put $5,000 in, and here my Litecoin just came in, so I'll just show you this really quick. Boop, see my Litecoin's there, yay! Okay, so you can see how quick that was. If it was Ethereum, it'd be like 30-40 minutes. It costs you a couple $100. So so what I can do with that Litecoin now, though, that's what I was saying earlier, is I can exchange it for something else. But that's the process of sending. That's what I just want you to know. Okay, so let's say in terms of going back to what we're talking about, securing your transactions on exchanges, let's say you put $5,000 into, I don't know, let's say you bought $5,000 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase or Litecoin, $5,000 worth of Litecoin, and you move it out and you put it on something like Uphold, and you buy a coin like XLM or XRP or something like that, and it goes from $1 to like $5. All right. So now you're over there and you've got $5,000 that just turned into like $20,000 or $25,000, and it's sitting there. And maybe it doesn't have the two-step authentication on it. So you have a couple of risks here. You have your account being hacked and those funds being taken out, which is why I always have my two-step verification on there. And the Google Authenticator app is a 6-digit code that recycles, like I think it's like every 30 to 60 seconds. And a lot of these things, it's like you get an email, you get a text message, and you got to do the Google Authenticator all within 60 seconds because they're trying to be that secure, and it's a real risk that people run into. So I'm telling you the problem. I'm setting the problem up for you. So your problem is you got $20,000 to $25,000 sitting on an exchange. You could be hacked, or we saw this. I forget the names of some of these exchanges, but I'm talking like billions of dollars the exchange people just walked away with. They just shut down, they liquidated everything, and they never heard from people again. So again, regulations coming, but that was years ago. Most of the stuff out, like Coinbase is good and crypto.com is good. These are actual businesses. There is some real shady stuff out there though. So, get your money in and out. And when we say out, even on things like Coinbase, even on things like crypto.com, if you have a significant amount of money, like my money doesn't sit on exchanges. Like you see my account, like, oh, it's $1,000. Oh, yeah, it's $1,000 sitting on that exchange. It's just stuff I'm moving around and playing with. But my real strategic investments long term, I have in a wallet that is not online. It has nothing to do with online, and actually, so there's a whole other conversation about wallets, but I'm not going to go into it. You guys just do your own research. Just Google like cold wallet storage for cryptocurrency. But I'm going to show you what a lot of people use, and what I would suggest that if you're going to get into this space, or even if you're in the space now and you're like, hey, yeah, I have some gains and you want to protect your investment, you really need to get yourself a ledger. And so it looks like, I'll show you here, it looks like a tiny USB drive. And what ends up happening is, let me try to nutshell this. So this is what it looks like. It's got this, looks like a USB. And it's got some software that comes with it. You install it on your computer. And so you plug this little USB drive in. And with each USB drive, there's a series of words, like 24 words in a unique order, a unique sequence. And that is the thing that's like, it's called your seed phrase. So let's say your cryptocurrency isn't actually stored on this device. It's just like, it's almost like a key. So you plug this in, you put like a 6-digit code in, and it kind of unlocks everything. And then it kind of gives you an interface like what we've seen in the exchanges, where you can put your funds in there. You could exchange between different currencies. It's a wallet. It's a wallet, holds your cryptocurrency. But the cryptocurrency itself doesn't sit on this device. It sits in the blockchain. And this device kind of keeps track of the blockchain. And so let's say somebody stole this device from me. Well, it doesn't do them any good because my cryptocurrency is not on it. The only thing that what they would need though from you or from me or for any of this stuff is they would need the seed phrase, and they couldn't just unlock it. They can't put the code in. They can't get access to it. You have to have this specific seed phrase. And so it's like 24 words long. It's like kind of ridiculous. So hopefully you're good at memorizing things. But this is what a lot of people are doing. And so they're getting their money off of exchanges, and then they're getting them into like a ledger Nano S like this. And they have a 24 word seed phrase, because the other reality is, you know, if we are limited in what we can buy and sell, or what's happening in the future, or regulation comes, who's to say that the government can't come knock on Coinbase's door and say, I need all of, Mercedes cryptocurrency. She's no good. It's hate speech. She's this, she's that, get rid of it. And that's a real possibility. But they can't do that if I'm my own bank and I have my funds on my own device. And there's a lot of other ways to store cryptocurrency, but this is really the most common. This is the one that everybody uses. Things I would say is please, please, please order the device from ledger.com. Don't order it on Amazon, because the way the seed phrase works is I could buy another ledger, put that seed phrase in, and it repopulates everything. So what people will do is they'll sell them on Amazon. They have the seed phrase. They'll send you the seed phrase. Everybody has a seed phrase. And so you move all your cryptocurrency on there, and then they have access to it. So please buy it from ledger.com. You get your own seed phrase. Right when the device boots up, you get a seed phrase. And like even Ledger doesn't know what it is, and you just put it right in there. So don't lose the seed phrase. That's critical. There's people that's happened to as well. So anyways, there's a lot to take in here for the cryptocurrency space, but I wanted to give you a crash course on what's happening in the market. Market's down. How do you buy? How do you store? How do we buy everything from reputable coins, stable coins, utility coins, to meme coins? And so your meme coins, you can go figure it out on Trust Wallet. It's a hot mess over there, but you can figure it out, or Uniswap. That's where all that stuff is, if you want to buy meme coins. Otherwise, I would advise you do your research. And let me show you one other thing before we leave. Let's go to coinmarketcap.com. Coinmarketcap.com. Okay, that was my song. I just made that up. It's their new jingle. So okay, so you probably, like I said, maybe you only know about Bitcoin, maybe you only know about Doji. We talked about Ethereum. We've talked about Tether. There's all sorts of coins. So Coinmarketcap gives you the snapshot of where we're at in real time, of how much money is in all of cryptocurrency and all the crypto markets, what's going on with everything, what's up, what's down. Like you could see Tether's up right now. Normally Tether's a little further down the list. Well, why is Tether up? Critical thinking says a lot of people pulled their money out of the market. They're waiting for it to hit the bottom. And so it's in a stable coin right now. And once it bottoms out, people will start investing again. And so that's kind of what's happening. All right. But they don't want to take their gains and move all the way out to the bank. They just kind of want to leave them. And Tether's on almost all these different exchanges. And so is, I think it's USDC, something like that. Okay, so let's scroll down the list here. Again, I don't think you could see by cursor, but like here's number 5. Here's ADA. That's up and coming right now. Doji is sitting here because it's been heavily pumped. And XRP, this is the one I was telling you about. That I think that's the one that's linked to Davos and made by banks for banks. and is in the SEC lawsuit. And honestly, once that settles, I believe that obviously I think it's going to get relisted, and it's already being relisted on some exchanges. But like, you can't get it on Coinbase. You used to be able to, and you can't. You can't get it on. I don't think you can get it on Bittrex right now. But once it gets relisted and the lawsuit gets settled, I think that it's going to go up. So that's my assumption. Again, not financial advice, just me. Again, USDC, this is a stable coin. This is a coin that is used on Uniswap. So it's kind of like the Binance coin or CRO. Uni is used in that way. Light token, like we talked about, it's really its use is that it's got low transaction fees. It processes very fast. And so that's just a great coin to kind of like bounce between if I'm going to different exchanges. XLM is very similar to XRP. There's kind of a little bit of like there's a story to that I won't go into. Matic is also up and coming. So yeah, so lots of different things. Ethereum Classic is up because people were buying the wrong Ethereum weeks ago. VeChain is the supply chain management we talked about. That this one is very popular right now. A lot of people talking about it. A lot of people think that this one is got a great use case, great implications in the future. So think of it as it's kind of like investing in the future of like it's for some of these, not all of them, but some of them have a real great use case, almost like a company. So yeah, a Filecoin, same type of a story. It's got a great use case. And let's see. So let me click on something so I can kind of show you. Okay, this is also good. Daya is also 1-to-1 to the dollar, except it's not done based off of like the value. But okay, so let me say this. So Tether, supposedly, like for every dollar Tether has, there's like a US dollar that backs it. But it's kind of been, they've gotten into hot water for that because people say, well, you're not actually doing that. And so Daya is different. It's pegged to the dollar, but it's not a 1-to-1. They don't have like $1 for every dollar that's in circulation in Daya. They do it differently with different commodities and algorithms. There's some way that they do it. I just listened to a podcast on it the other day, but this one's very interesting. So yeah, sorry, I'm not going to go into it. Let's click on something to look at. So let's look at VET. It's VeChain. We're going to click on this. And so here's the current price, right? It's down. And here's the market cap. Here's the thing we always want to look at, right? So when you come do your research and you're thinking about investing in something, somebody's talking to you about like, Safe Moon, or they're talking to you about some random stuff. Well, you don't want to invest, again, I don't think you can see my cursor, but you don't want to invest when it's at its all-time high, which is when I was doing my video series. I'm like, I don't want people to get in now. I'm just going to wait. And so at the all-time high, you don't want to buy in there at 25 cents. You want to come in down here somewhere, right? You want to come in at 10 cents or whatever, or lower. Because if you believe in the project, then it's going to come back up, right? It's like a stock market. Like when Disney's down, Disney's still Disney. It's going to come back up. Apple's still Apple. As long as, they've still got their innovation happening. Anyways, we won't go into it, but you get my point. Don't buy at the all-time high. Don't buy if it's already mooned and you're all the way up here. Please don't ever buy up there. That's not smart. Come look at the market trend. Come look at the little line graph here and make sure you're down here and it hasn't mooned yet and you're planning, okay, it's going to go up. I think it's going to go up. Or here where we're going to come and buy the dip and it's going to bounce back up, hopefully, right? And so you're going to hold it. All right, so let's look at the company itself. You can find out more information down here. What is VeChain? VET is a blockchain-powered supply chain platform. Began in 2015 and launched in 2016. VeChain aims to use disruptive governance and things of the internet technology to create an ecosystem which solves some of the major problems with supply chain management. So it's so cool, right? You can read about the founders. You can read about what makes them unique. And then I'm pretty sure, too, somewhere around here they have like the URL. You can go look at it. So lots of neat stuff. And this is my point. You have to come back here and you have to do market research. Okay. You got to see. And so here's the different markets it's on. So it's on Binance US, KuCoin, see all markets, right? It's all over the place. It's almost everywhere. But if you're looking for something that's a little harder to find, you could find out, hey, where is it? And so yeah, so lots of cool stuff. These are all the markets it's on. I'm not going to keep going. I was looking for, oh, here you go, website right here. So you can go over there, go check them out and read more. But that's what's involved in doing research, right? And so there are people, this is what they spend all day doing. They just do this all day. They just learn about new coins, what's coming out. I don't have time for that, so I can't. But I do take some time each week and I look at things and I listen to other podcasts, I listen to other investors, and they're telling me about stuff like this. So I'm all right coming in a little bit late when it's long-term institutional infrastructure investing of what the future is going to be. It's like finding out about Google or Apple or computers before they're mainstream. And so I want to invest in things like this, things that are going to really disrupt the industry and solve a lot of problems. Anyways, this has been, I know, a longer video, but I'm really trying to give you a crash course of how do I invest? How do I get in? How do we move our money from fiat into the crypto space? How do I go from something like Coinbase and how do I move my funds onto a different exchange, the different ones I told you about, to purchase things like F.U.D or other coins that may not be listed in Coinbase? And how do I do my market research? What should I be looking at? Where do I look? And I showed you Coinmarketcap.com. You can see the top ones there, and then you can even see things too. I won't go back over there, but you can see things of like, well, which ones are related to like decentralized finance, right? So things like loans. Like I could get a loan against my crypto. I could stake my crypto and say, sure, here's $30,000 worth of Bitcoin. I'd like a $30,000 loan in fiat, in like USD, and they're like, okay, sure, here you go. And that's a thing, you guys, like that's happening. There's other things out there like interest rates on some of these coins. If you stake them, so there's more in a supply, and they're using funds. You stake them for a while and you get like 6% back. Some of these are giving you like 1,000% back. This is crazy. So these are things I'm trying to learn. Those are the new things that I'm trying to figure out. Like decentralized finance was huge last year, 2020, 2021. And right now, the new stuff I'm trying to learn about is NFTs, so non-fungible tokens, which is really going to revolutionize how we do art. How like it's so unique because you can take one piece of digital art or digital media, put it within like a little block on the blockchain, and it's like it's forever locked and it's yours. So it's like you buy that NFT and it's yours. It's like it's almost like a unique signature type of a thing. Like the artist can do so many cool things. They can put you know just all sorts of different things in there. So anyways, like this broadcast I could take and turn into an NFT and you could own it. And so, but some of these things, I mean, like $600 million for some digital art piece. I mean, just crazy stuff that's happening. And I just think life is really going to look different 2025, especially going into 2020, 30. I mean, just really unique things are coming for us. And so this is, what we're seeing right now, it's like the equivalent of building roads for cars. That's what these projects are. And so, go check them out. Like spend some time, invest in yourself, invest in your future, because I think what's coming in this financial storm, this right here, this is the arc that you want to be looking at that's going to carry you to the other side and really set you up long term financially for yourself and for your family. I think there's a lot of opportunity here. It's just a lot of opportunity. So, anyways, I hope you guys have found this useful and helpful. I know it's very long, but there's a lot to go over. So, you guys be blessed, and I'll talk to you later.